Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, as we speak, the deal has been announced and those flashes are on your screen now. CNBC TV18 news break has been confirmed. Novelis will acquire Aleris International and that announcement has just been released to the exchanges. More details, of course, are awaited and we'll bring you the finer contours of the deal. And joining me to take that further will be our researcher Nigel as well. And we're also expecting the management to address the media sometime in the next, within the next half an hour or so on this mega deal that has been announced. In fact, Nigel is with me now. Nigel, it was a much awaited deal. You've been tracking it. What does it mean for both the companies? Take us through the contours.
One thing that Nisha has broken and that's spot on is $2.6 billion. So that's good news. You know, there was a fear that it can be $2.8 billion. So the valuation is perfect at around $2.6 billion. So one part of the puzzle we know. Remember, if you want to take it on a trailing basis, the EBITDA number for the last year was around $200 million, $201 million. But you need to keep in mind that this EBITDA of $200 million can go all the way to around $320 to around $330 million. Now, if that happens, then this acquisition is done at around 7 times approximately. So that's not very, very expensive. At one point of time, the street was fearing that maybe, in fact, it will be done at more than 10 times. That was the fear. As of now, $2.6 billion, the street will take this. There's no worries on that front. Yeah.
Okay, I think the release is on the exchanges. I'll just read out a few lines for our viewers. The acquisition multiple of 7.2x at an expected EBITDA of US $360 million. Consolidated net debt to EBITDA is expected to be below 3.5x at the time of closing. It also says Aleris has a global footprint with manufacturing facilities in Europe, US and Asia. It says this marks Novelis' entry into the high-end aerospace segment. In fact, you have visuals on your screen right now of Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla walking in there to address the media on this big, acquisition that his flagship company will be announcing today. It has already been released to the exchanges. We have all the details with us, and we're expecting to hear from the management more finer contours of what this deal means for both of the companies. Remember, it's his entry into the US markets. It is going to start in, I think, another 10 minutes from now. But in the meanwhile, we'll resume with the coverage here. Nigel, so no surprises. Are you saying the deal value is largely in line with what we were expecting?
Yeah, the deal value is largely in line. We'll wait for the management to tell us what can be the synergy benefits that they're going to be coming about. Will they be look at an ADR listing? How do they fund this particular acquisition? $2.6 billion is the number that that they're telling us. How do they raise that money? How much of the debt are they going to take in from Aleris? We are working with a number of around $1.8 billion approximately. So how do they fund the remaining of that as well? So we'll keep an eye out. Those are the details we want to know. Is there any unfunded pension liability that Aleris has in their books? And also, are there any legacy contracts? So those are the key factors that we're going to be looking at once we get the management details. So the top 4 points we're looking at is, are there any synergy benefits and have they come up with an estimate of that? How do they fund this particular deal? What are the legacy contracts? Are there any out there? And in fact, is there any unfunded pension liability as well? I think we have the management that's going to address, all right, I think we have Nisha who's joining in. She's broken this story. Nisha, congratulations. You have got it spot on. Fill us in. Anything more that you can tell us?
Sorry for that, Nigel. I'm still stuck in traffic trying to reach the press conference venue, and I'm sure that once we meet them and the press conference is about to start is what we gathered. So as soon as that starts, of course, we'll get more details out of that. Over to you till then.
Absolutely, Nisha. $2.6 billion is what you told us. That's spot on. So we're going to be waiting for the management to give us further details. But we told you all last week itself, Nisha had told us on last Friday that this is going to be happening. She told us this morning that we're expecting the announcement, and that big announcement has come about. So let's wait for further clarity. I think for the time being, I'm not sure whether we're getting a reaction that's coming in there from, I think we're getting a reaction from Justin Yang.
I think Jatin Damania would also be joining us in just a bit.
All right, let's go across to Jatin. Jatin, we have got one part of the deal, $2.6 billion. Your first take, and what are the key points you're looking at from the management?
So, Well, definitely the numbers, I mean the numbers that was floating in the market is basically in the same line. We are also estimating $2.58 billion for the acquisition of the Aleris. So we believe that definitely this acquisition can be and will be an earnings accretive in a short span of time because these companies are more into our rolled products. And if you look at it, the key things that I will be looking at it, the funding of this $2.5 billion of the deal and any legacy orders or the pension liability, which unfunded pension liability, which is there on the books of the Aleris. So that will be the key things to watch out for. And definitely on the operational front, we will be also looking at the ramping up of the capacity in the China aerospace capacity, which is probably operating at the suboptimal utilization.
All right. We also have Justin Yang with us, who's the aluminum reporter at Metal Bulletin, who's joining us now. Justin, thank you very much for joining in. You've seen the deal has now been announced. Novelis will acquire 100% stake in Aleris for about $2.6 billion. What do you make of this? What are some of the key things that you'll be looking for, when we hear from the management?
Right. As the others have mentioned, this increases, I guess, Novelis' footprint in North America. But it also adds to their portfolio as well. Aleris is quite involved in automotive, aerospace, construction in North America as well, whereas Novelis is quite focused on beverage cans. So this definitely adds to their mix of products that they can offer going forward.
All right, Justin, a quick word from you. What's the current deficit number you're working with in terms of aluminium? Are you working with the deficit? And how big a threat is this entire trade warrior that we're having between the United States and China?
Well, I mean, if we talk about the political landscape in general, that has had quite a big effect on aluminium prices on the London Metal Exchange, as well as on aluminium premiums in the physical market. In Europe, I think premiums have been the highest this year since 2015. So it's quite, it's quite a volatile situation based on everything that's going on with the trade wars and the U.S. tariffs. And
deficit number?
I don't have that quite with me right now, but as far as the prices go, I mean, it's quite volatile. And
what kind of a price, aluminium price outlook, Justin, you're working with for the coming year? Are you expecting aluminium to base out at around this $200 per ton?
$2,200 per ton? I got to check back with my research team on that one. But, I mean, there are expectations that, know.
Okay, all right. Just thanks so much for joining in and giving us the details. Just hold on to that. We'll cut across. Mr. K. He's addressing press.
My colleagues